Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Robcast, Revenge of the Nerd podcast. Hey, everyone, it's been a while. I am Rob Succhetto, the inventor of the zombie portrait, the world-famous inventor of the zombie portrait, and all-around nerd guru. I am back, and I hope you missed me. I sorely missed you guys. It has been a while, and I know everyone uses this excuse. Oh, I'm busy. I'm busy. Can you make it out tonight? I'm busy. I've just been honestly insanely busy, and I really mean that. Just so many different things, setting up stores and stuff because we can't do conventions anymore. So I've been trying to get my stuff into stores and things like that. Literally doing everything, every aspect of it with help, but driving out of town for hours and setting things up and then continuing with Zombie Daily as I do every day, as hopefully many of you know, on my Patreon page. Just a lot of stuff. I have legitimately been busy and unable to do a ton of podcasts, which I would love to do. I wish I had more time to do it and everything. And yeah, they're all kind of, these are all kind of done in one take, and not much technical stuff there, but I still kind of, you need to set up, take the time and do the thing, which I love to do. Here I am again, and hopefully a lot of you guys will watch. Now today, I really want to talk about comics, and here I am with one of my many comic book shelves behind me. What a apt place to talk about comics. Primarily, I want to talk about artists, and I've got the latest Marvel previews. Which I think it's pretty much a good barometer of what people collect. The previews catalog itself is it's like a small phone book, so it's hard to handle and stuff, and to go through, and the images aren't as glossy and stuff for the most part. So I picked this because it's kind of a good like I said, a good model. DC, I would have the DC one, but DC doesn't traffic with previews Diamond Distributors anymore. They've got their own online book, so and I still pick up DC stuff, which is mostly Batman. Batman comprises most of the DC landscape nowadays, but they put really good stories together and art teams and stuff like that. So DC's great. I really do like DC a lot, although I don't purchase as many titles as I used to from them. I come from a time when artists were really highly, I think, more revered maybe than they are today. I'm not talking fan-wise. I'm talking in general, in the way the comic book industry sees artists. I think less emphasis is put on the artist nowadays, and way back, like 30, 40 years ago, the artist was seen as the big draw for the book. You had guys like Neil Adams, John Byrne, and so Walter Simons, and so many guys. I mean, I could just keep going forever, but those kind of were the big ones, and I find that's not as much now, because there are really amazing artists that are populating the comic book industry now, and they're not. I don't find, we came into a sort of the time of writers. So it was like the writer was the most important thing of the book. And it's like, yeah, well, the writer obviously is very important, sure. Both, I think, Frank Miller maybe ushered in that sort of, Alan Moore and all these guys like Neil Gaiman and people like that. Now you got guys like Donny Cates and Oh man, there's so many, Al Ewing and Bendis and everything. Who Bendis I've never really been a huge fan of. Like the writing is really important for sure, because you don't want to keep repeating the same story every 3 years, recycling it. But my main draw is the art. Like, I'm an artist, dude, so of course I'm gonna gravitate towards a comic for the art. Having done comic books myself, I know how tough it is to do, and I've always I've never really done the research, because maybe I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid to see what the results are. But I've always thought, man, I hope writers don't get paid what artists do, because like an artist's job on a comic book is ultimately way harder to do, especially now. Like back in the old days, you had Kirby on like 2-3 books a month. I mean, he devoted his whole life to it. I get it, but he even did like in-house ads and things like that, like John Buscema did, and a lot of guys did. Like they could put out like tons of stuff, because you had superheroes wearing kind of like footy pajamas almost, and like now it's like they wear all this tactical stuff because it's got to look like the movie and all this stuff. So they're gonna put all these like treads on the boots and like make everything realistic. Like Brian Hitch, man, like Brian Hitch is an artist who, for the detail and realism he puts into his work, he's pretty consistent, man. Like I don't think he's blown a lot of deadlines in his career. Not that I really have noticed, but and right now he's working on what is he working? He's working on a Batman title that I pick up. I can't recall the name of it right now, but anyway, by the time years from now when people see this, it won't matter. Hopefully they are seeing it still, but like if you're gonna look at an artist and go like, who's got the most cinematic style? It's probably Brian Hitch. When he started doing Ultimates, for Marvel, like sort of rebooting the Avengers. Man, like there's no question why Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury in the movies, because he was literally Samuel L. Jackson in the comics as Nick Fury for the Ultimates. So there's a sort of thing where the movie really reflected the comic. Not so much the actual content or writing, but like the characters. So yeah. You had a guy like Brian Hitch who's just amazing. Another Brit who I love the Brits, man. I love their work so much. Going through this book, I was looking through, and right from the get-go, they're really pushing Ryan Stegman, and with good cause. He's amazing. Ryan Stegman is a real favorite of mine. It's almost like he fashioned his work after sort of McFarlane. It's sort of McFarlane-ish, but like it's almost like what if Todd McFarlane knew how to actually draw, and compose and stuff, and not use so much scratchy, hatching and line bullshit. Like he's the less sloppy McFarlane, I guess. More solid, way more solid. Knows his anatomy. Everything's really tip top. Where McFarlane used to like just rush through shit and kind of make derpy, female faces, and took a lot of liberties with his art. Like Ryan Stegman is really good. And here's an example. If you can see that, if you have one of these books at home, you can follow through with me. And yeah, I don't know if you can see that, how clear that is, but hopefully it is. That's Ryan Stegman. On the back of this, you've got Lionel Francis Yu, another amazing artist who, again, despite his amazing work, I don't think he's missed a lot of deadlines, so he's really good too. As I go through, we've got Greg Land doing Symbiote Spider-Man, King in Black, number 205. Greg Land is probably the worst atrocity to ever hit the comic book sort of scene. He uses a lot of he just traces a lot of his stuff from like magazines, like porn mags and stuff, which is like the shittiest. Like you'll see, and like he reuses his own art over and over again. Like you'll see the same shot of Wolverine like a million times. I don't know how this guy gets work. It's the most stilted, stiff, shitty garbage I've ever seen. You know, the only thing that really saves it is the colorist, and it's garbage. Greg Land is the worst. I hate him. Greg Land, if you're listening, you suck, man. So yeah. Then we've got Salvador LaRocca doing that Doctor Doom and Iron Man image there. Salvador LaRocca, I don't think I've ever seen a guy use his A game. He's very good, but I don't know. Like he kind of changes his style up a little bit, maybe to accommodate the deadlines and stuff like that. You have to remember, like a lot of times, a lot of times an artist won't be putting their best into a book because of a deadline, and I absolutely understand that. Having done comics, I totally know what that's like. So sometimes your A game is not in the comic that you're doing. So I find that of Salvador LaRocca a lot. But I know he's good, and he is like he's solid. He's absolutely adequate. Then you got a guy like Aaron Cooter here, newer guy, doing this Hulk and Symbiote cover. You know, I like his style. It took me a while to warm up to it, but I like it. You know what? I like quirky, different things. I hate it when I find DC stuff sort of gets lumped into the same category, where it's like the same kind of stuff, the same kind of like Jim Lee prototype, like the Jim Lee model of art. I've seen DC like moving away from that a little bit now, which is really good. They've got some sort of quirky artists going on in their stable, so that's great. There's another beautiful Lionel Francis Yu cover. Like I said, if you have one of these at home, you know, look through it with me, and you can actually maybe see it better. I don't know. This struck me as weird because I looked at that, and it's not like Lionel Francis Yu's normal color palette, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's like a lot of blues, whites, and like different colors there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. We've got Jung-Gwen Yoon doing this cover. You know, I know this individual is probably very good, but that is a horrible cover. That is just absolute shite. You can't cover up bad art with like computer generated glossy effects and shit. I find it like it's very obvious to an individual like myself. I don't know how obvious it is to younger viewers of comics, younger readers of comics. They might go, oh, ever cool, because it has like, you know, textures, and not even textures, actually just shades. And I find he's done a lot of stuff in here, which is really troubling. Covers mostly. Then you've got Esed Ribic doing this amazing Eternals cover, and he's doing the interiors. I love this guy so much. He's fantastic. He's got a real philosophy to his art and how he goes about executing it. Really amazing. Here's Salvador LaRocca again doing this Wolverine cover. I guess it's a cover. I'm going to assume it's a cover. If not, it's a pinup. I think it's a cover. Anyway, now here's him doing way better work than that previous shot, that Doctor Doom Iron Man cover I showed you earlier. That's, you know, and it's like, okay, you can obviously tell he put way more work into this, you know, because it's a Wolverine cover, I guess, then, you know, puts more work. Maybe he likes Wolverine better than Doctor Doom, I don't know. This MODOK cover, I guess it's a new book coming out. I recognize that immediately as Cully Hammer, and I love his work. It's so bold, his lines are thick, and very expressive. He's got a great design sense, kind of like Dave Johnson. That sort of Art Deco-ish, thick, bold, beautiful lines and curvilinear shapes and things like that. I really love their work. I really love Dave Johnson's work. He does a lot of alt covers. He does a lot of alternate covers. Doesn't do a lot of interiors, but hey man, that's okay. He did Red Sun for DC, the Superman story where Superman lands in Russia, and there's the Russian Batman and all that stuff too. Here's Phil Noto, very, very highly recognizable artist here, Phil Noto. I really love his stuff. I like his cover and single shot stuff a little better than his interior work, personally. He's absolutely fantastic, very talented, knows his medium so well. I love his color palette and everything. I love everything he does. But sometimes, again, he's not always like 100% top shelf for interiors. And I'm gonna chalk that up to deadlines, man. You can't bash a dude, like you can't critique a guy like that doing comics, man, because like he's a fine artist, I think, and by the way, I'm skipping some of the pages because they're not stellar. I'm not going to comment on every page in here, even if I have the time to do it today. I don't think I will, but maybe this will be like part one. And you'll know that by the time I post this, if I have that in the title or not. Adam Kubert doing that Wolverine cover. The guy, his dad's Joe Kubert. This is Adam. Then there's Andy Kubert. I think he works more for DC, but they've kind of been around the industry, right? Because their dad was Joe Kubert, and he's a legend, man. Rod Reese, there's a guy sort of straddles the Bill Sienkiewicz, Phil Noto sort of bench with his art. Good stuff. He does New Mutants. He's doing New Mutants. A lot of the X books are great. Mahmoud Asrar is fantastic. I love his work. That's a cover by him there. That's what, X-Force or Excalibur, sorry. He does a lot of stuff. Like the guy is pretty, he's kind of everywhere. Got another Lionel Francis Yu cover with X-Men. He's doing a bang-up job with X-Men right now. Russell Dauterman for this cover here, really, really good stuff. Again, it's very different. It's kind of quirky. I really love his work. He started out doing Thor and stuff. Another Salvador LaRocca cover, man. The guy gets around. This is probably why some of his covers are awesome and some of them are like okay. But there it is. There's another one by him. I don't know what's going on with Storm here. I don't know if that's like Kid Storm or she's just got a huge head. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not a big fan of that cover. So whatever, man. So we get into Amazing Spider-Man. There's there's a cool cover. Who's this guy again? Oh yeah, Patrick Gleason. Yeah. They're making a big deal about him returning to the Spider-Man title, but I don't know, his work's really good. I really do enjoy his work. I find it kind of like that slick style, which is totally fine. I really dig it. It's all good. There's a lot. Alfred Molina. Is it Alfred Molina? George Molina. I'm sorry, George Molina. Doing this Ultraman cover. I love his work. I really, really love his work. He was doing Doctor Strange for a bit, and I couldn't get enough of that. I thought it was fantastic. You got two fantastic covers right there. This one by Adam Hughes, of course, amazing legend in the comic book industry, and you got Is it Olivier? Yeah, Olivier Coipel. I hope I'm getting that right. Doing that Thor cover, really cool, really well done. I really love that. It's got a great style, really nice style. Love that scratchy looking style. Here's another In Hyuk Lee cover, which I just don't like. You know, like there's dinosaurs here. Can you see them? You probably can't, because all the colors are so muddy. Like, yeah, there's dinosaurs there, and I'm sure they're supposed to be menacing, but I can't see them. That's not good, you know. I find guys who use these really low tone, moody colors for covers, just I find they fail, man, because. Look, I know we don't live in an age where, you know, we go to the comic book racks in our, you know, local 7-Eleven or convenience store anymore, and it's like, oh, the comics have to grab your attention, so they have to be bright colors and all that stuff. I get it. We don't. It's not the same. But you know, comics are still displayed on a comic rack in comic book stores, and I think they should pop, man. This does not pop at all. This cover does not pop. And I find, you know, I love Alex Ross, man. And, you know, he was doing Spider-Man covers for a while. Well, he was doing Spider-Man covers for a long time, actually. Like, for a long time. And I was like, you know what, man? I don't like them. And I because they were very, they were very moody, dark, wishy-washy covers, man. And like Alex Ross is the best, probably the best artist in comics going, like, for decades, for like a decade at least, if not more. And you can't say enough good things about the guy. But for Spider-Man, for Amazing Spider-Man, the flagship Marvel title, I think you need those covers to pop. You need bright colors. You need like those primary colors. You need bold action on those covers. And I didn't think that Alex Ross was doing it. He's amazing doing the Hulk covers right now. His Immortal Hulk covers are. I'll find one. Well, here's an Iron Man cover by him. He's doing Iron Man covers now. That's kind of okay. It's super dark. Like, you can barely see that, but I mean, you know, it's you know, it's good. You can never. And you know, he did that Marvel Snapshot cover there too. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little smaller, but you know, there's that one. And you know, oh, and then we got Mark Brooks. Mark Brooks is astonishing. I love his work so much. He's really come into his own. I'm not going to really focus on the small thumbnail-y things, but you know, here, like, here's two Hulk covers back to back that are coming up. Would you look at that? That is the best stuff going ever. Like, look at that. That is the best. I'm gonna probably stop it here. Like, in terms of going through, and you know, he does the Captain America covers, and I'm not that crazy about them either. But holy shit, the guy's doing what, 4 or 5 covers a month? How does he do that? Amazing. I'm gonna have to find out how he does that. You know, but you know, so you know, you've got a guy like Alex Ross doing covers like that. You know, sometimes it doesn't match, and I mean, it's not his fault. You know, it's like, of course he's going to want to do it, and of course they're going to give it to him. It's the editor's sort of decision to do, you know, to get Alex Ross to do the covers. And I just thought that the covers didn't match, you know, the kind of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, you know, type of thing. Like if it was Batman, you know, or obviously the Hulk covers that he's doing are just astonishing. But you know, I didn't feel that it was a right fit. Just my opinion, man. You know, I've been around for a long time. I have kind of informed opinions or educated opinions on stuff, but it doesn't mean I'm right, man. You know, I like what I like. I kind of have a sense now. I've kind of worked as an art director for a few different companies, and you know, had companies ask me, well, what should we do? Like, what kind of art should we have for this? And you know, for me being hired by a company, it's a lot of times it's process. It's not like they want me to work for them. It's not. You know, I don't do a lot of like jobs for hire where it's like I just do, you know, jobs. It's they want me specifically to do the job, so they seek me out and they ask for my opinion, which I try to give in an educated way. Because I've been immersed in, you know, the popular culture stuff for so long, I kind of see what has worked in the past and what has not worked, and why. So you know, yeah, and I think that helps. I really do think it helps. So again, like, you know, it all boils down to, especially with this kind of stuff, it boils down to opinion, absolutely. But you know, there's an educated, there's a more educated or experienced opinion about things than, you know, than not. So I you know, if I usually do it to help or instruct, and you know, otherwise just keep it to myself or in polite conversations. So I hope you guys had a great time. I'm gonna put the brakes on this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me the